What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. So, before we get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every episode for Wrestling with Rumors, every rumor that I am about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven as fact, we see it happening on television. It remains what it is, a rumor. So with that, welcome to a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Let's get into it. So, per bodyslam.net, Orange Cassidy has been cleared and he'll be returning to AEW television sooner rather than later. He's simply waiting on creative plans. Now, this is something that I talked about earlier last week on an episode of Rumor of the Day. And I'm going to stick to what I said on that episode of Rumor of the Day here on Wrestling with Rumors, and that is two ways for Orange Cassidy for creative to bring him back. One, they could do a thing where he is involved in going up against the Death Riders, like Jon Moxley or Wheeler Yuta, one of them, in some way, or possibly even he could be the next challenger against Okada for that AEW Unified Championship. Those are two ways that I can see creative possibly bringing back Orange Cassidy into the fold of AEW. Obviously, we have to wait and see once he returns how creative is going to bring him back in and how he's going to be utilized back into the AEW fold. But those are just two ways that I see and speculate for Orange Cassidy for creative to bring him back into the fold. WrestleVotes heard that many people in WWE want to see the duo of Chelsea Green and Ethan Page appear together on SmackDown sooner due to their impressive chemistry on NXT television. Some people think this is a great way to quickly establish Page as a key player on the main roster. Absolutely. SmackDown is the right spot for Ethan Page. And that duo of Chelsea Green, Ethan Page, it really works. You got Chelsea Green with her Secret Harvest, with Ethan Page. It just works. Watching them on television every Tuesday night, NXT, it is entertaining. It is fun to watch. And to see them take that duo and bring it into the main roster of on SmackDown would just be, for a lack of a better word, fantastic. It would really be great to see that play out. It's entertaining to see Ethan Page go after the United States Championship against newly crowned Sami Zayn. If they bring Ethan Page into it while Sami Zayn is United States champion, that would be a fun rivalry to watch, and then to see him possibly win that match, and then I could see him possibly even changing that United States Championship into a Canadian Championship that fits to his stature. And then because him being a proud Canadian and with Chelsea Green, the whole thing, I honestly can see that happening, and I really hope. But just with that aside, to see that duo of Chelsea Green and Ethan Page on SmackDown with the Secret Harvest, it works, and it would really work well on SmackDown. So I really hope it happens. I hope they bring it to SmackDown sooner, very soon, like around draft time. You know what I mean? According to WrestleVotes Radio, the upcoming episode of WWE Raw on September 15th, 22nd, and 29th will all have a start time of 7 p.m. Eastern, which will be 4 Pacific here on the West Coast. The idea is to see how the show performs on Netflix with minimal head-to-head time against the NFL's Monday Night Football. Honestly, I feel like the show will perform. I feel that Raw going on an hour earlier than it normally does for these 3 weeks, if that does happen, I think it'll do fine. I think it'll do well being on an hour earlier than usual. I think it'll do very well, even if it does well, which I feel like it will, but they go back to the usual time. I still feel that the viewership of people who watch Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw, who will probably who either choose to watch football first and then go back to watch Raw. I think the viewership of watching the replay of Monday Night Raw after they watch Monday Night Football will do just as well. So I think there's nothing really to worry about, at least on the backstage end and the producers and all that stuff for Monday Night Raw when they air it. I think Raw will be fine, will do well an hour early versus how well they do at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. So I think it'll be fine either way, but at least for these 3 weeks, if this is how it goes to watch Raw an hour earlier, hey, I'm all for it. If Raw comes on at 4 o'clock here, that means it would go off. If Raw comes on 4 p.m. West Coast time, that means it would go off like around 6:30. And you flip that in the East Coast, 7 p.m. Eastern would end around a little after 9:30 Eastern time. So either way, Raw for those 3 weeks. If they end up doing that, it'll do fine. I think it'll do fine. For what it's worth, Andrew Zarin, if I didn't pronounce his last name correctly, I apologize, heard there will be an announcement regarding AEW pay-per-views on HBO Max in the coming weeks. This was something I read on a previous episode for Rumor of the Day, in which in the coming weeks there's going to be an announcement about AEW pay-per-views on HBO Max, which is part of that Warner Brothers Discovery deal in which when they signed that new contract. From what I read from this article, it'll be $10 less, and the HBO has really been figuring out the technology of showing live pay-per-view on their app, because it's not a problem of showing something live on their app, because they're already doing that with CNN, and they already do that when AEW has Dynamite and Collision. They're able to show the live telecast of that. It's how what they're trying to do is how to have a pay-per-view on their app in which you have to buy. So how the charging aspect of all of it works as well. Because normally if you were to watch AEW, say like on Prime, or if you were just to order it on pay-per-view, it's between $44 and $49 depending on what the AEW pay-per-view is. Whenever you're able to watch it, and if you have HBO Max, if you're able to order it on Max, you're looking at paying $10 less. So somewhere between $34 and $39 an hour. Quick side note, you're still paying more for an AEW pay-per-view than you are for that ESPN app for the WWE PLEs, and possibly also that WWE Network library as well. But that's just a side note on that. Back to this. So, in the coming weeks, we should be hearing something about how they're going to do that. Things could change. It also could be that it might not be $10 less that you're paying for. It could be full price, or it could be that if you have HBO Max, you're able to watch it for free. So we'll have to wait and see on what the full official announcement is. When that announcement comes out, I'll make sure to bring it up here on Wrestling with Rumors. But keep the eyes and ears open, and we'll see in the coming weeks when that announcement is made. And lastly, Cody Rhodes will be done filming his scenes for the Street Fighter movie by September 20th, WrestlePalooza PLE. That comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which adds that Roman Reigns does not have the same filming dates as Rhodes, but there will be some crossover. So some crossover meaning that there are certain scenes that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will be filming together, which is cool. That's cool too. So as far as Cody Rhodes, everything is slowly starting to build between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for that WWE Championship at WrestlePalooza. We haven't seen Cody Rhodes in a while. Let me stop here for a second and say congratulations to Cody and Brandy Rhodes on the birth of their new child. Congratulations. Mazel tov. But as far as seeing Cody Rhodes back on TV, if they're saying we're not gonna, he'll be done by the time WrestlePalooza, September 20th. Pardon me with my nose, a little itchy. There are two ways I could see this happening. We either, on days where Cody Rhodes is not filming, we could see him on television, back on SmackDown. For those days he's not filming, to add to the build to WrestlePalooza. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. Allergies, I guess. Anyway, so that's one way they could do it. Slowly build up towards that match at WrestlePalooza. Pardon me with my nose. It's crazy itching today. I don't know. Anyway, so that could be one way they could go, where he, on days where he's not filming, he shows up on SmackDown, and there's talking back and forth in that matter. That could be one way to do it. Or another way to do it, possibly for Cody Rhodes, is that we don't see him at all. Like, we don't see or hear from him at all. Drew McIntyre keeps coming out every week saying what he's going to say about Cody Rhodes, how we haven't heard from him, all that stuff. Makes a challenge for the WWE Championship. We get to WrestlePalooza, still haven't heard from Cody Rhodes. Don't know if he's going to show. The entrance happens for Drew McIntyre. He shows up, gets in the ring, walking back and forth, pacing back and forth, and then all of a sudden, everything gets dark. Cody Rhodes shows up. We have ourselves a WWE Championship match right there, without really hearing a word from Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes watching, paying attention, and there you go. That could be another way to do it. Wait and see on that. As far as Roman Reigns goes for WrestlePalooza, if he does show up at WrestlePalooza, I could see him going after the championship, but I feel like they might want to hold on to that match against Seth Rollins and maybe wait until we get to Crown Jewel in Australia. So that could be when that happens, is at Crown Jewel. As far as WrestlePalooza goes for Roman Reigns, it's maybe, because I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns' filming schedule for Street Fighter is a little bit longer than Cody Rhodes. But we keep the eyes and ears open and see what happens on that end. But with that, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching, for sticking with me to the final seconds of this episode. If you haven't yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button so you can keep up when all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumor drops, and especially my weekly show, Rumor of the Day, that drops every Monday through Saturday. Go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up when all of that happens. Hope everyone has a good, fun, and safe week. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. And of course, I will see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.